Chapter 4, January 8th. I woke up early, so I may as well try to get the last week down before anyone wakes up. Away from Simeon, Lyra is a completely different person. The first difference I noticed once we got her into Colette's car was that she actually talked. And what a voice she has. I've spent the better part of my life listening to music, and at least half of that has lyrics. But the way she sings is different from everything else. Now that I think of it, I suppose that's to be expected. If Simeon's age is to be believed, he would have remembered the separation of the world, so for at least the past 1900 years, probably more, their culture has evolved completely separate from us. I can't even remember being this excited. I need no arrogance to say that I'm an incredible musician. It's always come easily for me. And I love it all so much, but sometimes I just feel like there's only so much that I can learn before I have to push the boundaries myself. The idea that there are a couple millennia more of musical theory for me to learn from is the most wonderful thing I've ever heard. I can't wait for this summer. Aside from her voice, the rest of Lyra is pretty cool as well. Her English has a really odd accent. It kind of makes me think of Italian, but her intonations scream Japanese. I pay attention to that crap, sue me. But it's honestly improved just in the past week. Colette seems to really get along with her. I'm not entirely sure what they have in common, but they both seem that much happier, so I don't worry about it. Brian takes every opportunity he can to talk to her. It seems everything about her world interests him, and he asks about it all. I don't know if I would ever think of the things he does, and sometimes he asks questions even she doesn't have the answers for. It tends to get on her nerves when he interrupts her answers to more questions, and mine for that matter, but I have to admit, it's taught me a lot. Lyra's world, for some reason or another, is not nearly as advanced as ours. She's almost entirely unfamiliar with electricity, fire used for anything more than heat or destruction, and especially such a huge population. I understand Simeon introduced her to TV, but she still has a tendency to stop and stare at completely normal objects. The idea of a country the size of the U.S., or a city the size of Minneapolis, or even Bemidji, seems to overload her mind. As I understand it, she lives on an island about the size of Minnesota and Wisconsin combined. At least that's what Brian says. Their measurement system uses different units than ours. On that island, there are 4 Kaels. It's the only word Lyra has spoken in her language. As far as I can tell, it means country, but Lyra says that it's a poor translation. Lyra lives in Kaels, the oldest of the 4. The city of Kingscliff is on the eastern coast of the continent, and it's the cultural and historical center of the world. I don't remember the name of the second Kael, but I do remember that it covers the northwest corner of the continent, and that it's famed for its carpenters and architects. She also told us about Sarakim. Sarakim, no idea if I'm spelling that right, is another wizard. He lives in the second Kael and apparently single-handedly ensures peace in her world. Kinda makes me wonder what Simeon does with his time. Maybe Sarakim is just way more powerful than him, but really, why doesn't Simeon help out more in our world? Maybe I'll ask him sometime. Of course, I haven't actually seen him again since the day we met him. Every day when we pick Lyra up or drop her off, there's no sign that the old guy exists, besides a path of warm air. Apparently, there's some bad blood between the last 2 Kaels, Round and Tia Orno, but Lyra never went into detail as to why. With Sarakim around, open war isn't an option anyways. Kael Round is mostly in the mountain range along the southern coast of the island. Everything Lyra has said about it makes me think of ninja, samurai, and kung fu monks. Lyra says it's a very class-based society and very concerned with personal duty, self-improvement, and helping society. Tia Orno is the only Kael not entirely on the mainland. The largest city and capital is on a bay in the far southeast of the island, but settlements on smaller islands exist all over her world. Lyra says that she's met a few travelers from Tia Orno and that their humor was outstanding. She tried telling one of their jokes, but apparently it didn't translate well. It went something... And that's the end of Chapter 4. Ryan postulates that Jack must have been distracted from his writing for some reason. His failure to focus has no doubt bereft future generations of the funniest joke of all time. Or Ryan couldn't think of anything witty. One of the two. We rejoined Jack more than 2 months later.